Hi, Com 115 students. Welcome to the very end of the semester. Pat yourself on the back for being at finals week. In our class, Com 115, this semester, there will not be a traditional written final exam. So good luck to you on the final exams that you have in your other classes. For Com 115, what we have, instead of a written final exam, is a overall semester self-reflection. Let's take a quick look at the schedule document one more time just to see it. So here we have everything that we've done in all the past weeks, starting from the beginning of this semester all the way through until this week. As you see here on the very last week, it's finals week, and what we have is a semester self-reflection. Now, I have been hard at work grading the persuasive speeches. I've had more students and more speeches this semester than I've ever had before. And so it's been a real joy just to see all of the perspectives and all of the growth that you have derived from your work this semester. And last week, you guys were giving each other peer feedback and giving. You also gave a self-reflection specifically on your persuasive speech. So let me talk for a second about what I'm looking for in this final reflection. You know, one special thing about Com 115 is that every single person takes it. It's one of the few classes that is it's a required class. Anyone who graduates from Missouri State and calls themselves a Missouri State Bear has the experience of Com 115 in common with every other Bear. And that's something I don't take lightly as a public speaking instructor here at this fine institution. I mean, you might run into someone 25 years from now living in some other state. And if you find out that you're both Missouri State alums, a lot of times Com 115 comes up because it's an experience everyone has in common. So one thing that I have noticed that people sometimes tend to remember years later about this class, you might have forgotten every single thing I've said or anything you read in the textbook, but people tend to remember the speeches that they gave because you put a lot of work into them. You tend to remember the topics that you picked for some of the speeches, and so it's really that I'm going to ask you to reflect on for this final week. You've set goals for yourself throughout the semester, and you've grown a lot from the very first self-introduction speech that you gave to this final persuasive speech that you gave. So I'm going to ask you to call back to your memory, what were the topics of all of the speeches that you gave? What were some of your favorite speeches that you gave and why? Just to set those experiences firmly in your mind and memory for later. One of my biggest outcomes, the thing that I want for all of my students, is just the growth of self-confidence. At the beginning of this class, you might not have thought of yourself as a public speaker, but by the end of this class, now that we're at the end of it, by virtue of completing this class, you now are a public speaker. Public speaking is something that you are able to do. It's something that is in your skill set, and it will serve you well your whole life. I mean, and I'm not even just talking about the job when you are on the job, but also it'll follow you and help you throughout the rest of your education. When you are in upper level classes in your major or your minor or other general education classes, those classes may require you to give presentations. And those teachers in those classes, if you have taken Com 115 in the past, they expect that you know how to give a presentation. And so you will be making me proud when you do a great job in your presentation assignments later on in your career. So as you reflect and think over the things that you've learned in this class this semester overall, I just encourage you to take those lessons with you as you go into the remainder of your education and career and life. I invite you to stay in touch. Let me know of the developments that take place. If I love to hear about the achievements and the things that you have gone on to do after you have been through my class. So I read your reflections on your persuasive speeches, and one of the things I asked in that prompt was if you had any questions for me. Most of you did not have questions for me, but you did say kind things about you that in some cases that you enjoyed the class and that you learned something from the class, and that makes me very happy to hear. I'm happy when students have positive learning experiences in my class. Okay, that brings me to the end of the semester. Like I said, thank you very much. Good luck on your finals. Do one final quick pass through the Blackboard gradebook. Make sure everything is where it needs to be. Let me know if you find any irregularities, because once grades are turned in, they're final. I am still working through the process of grading all the persuasive speeches. So if you do not yet have a grade entered for your persuasive speech, that is okay. I will have them all done by the end of this week. I have had more students this semester at one time than I've ever had before. And that's in part because these online sections of COM 115 are a little bit bigger than they have been in the past due to some shuffling around that we have done due to the global health crisis. And so with that said, that reminds me to remind you to stay safe and stay healthy over this upcoming holiday break. Make sure you meet with an academic advisor and get registered for classes if you haven't done that yet. And I look forward to hearing about your achievements from you in your future semesters. Don't be a stranger. Have a good one.